Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of Bloody Good Horror. My name's Eric, and I'll be your host for this evening, where we will be reviewing The Ranger, Shudder exclusive, Schnars. A designation we may discuss later on in the show. I am the host, Eric. Joining me tonight, first up from Hotlanta, Georgia. Please welcome back our resident witch and artist, Cece. You're like a witch artist.
She's also a mute, presumably.
You're still muted.
Still muted.
Use your sorcery to unmute.
Right. If only there was.
If
only there was a witchy power that would make her mic unmuted. I still can't hear you. Anyway, so next up on the show, coming to us from Manhattan, New York City. He's definitely not a witch. Please welcome John.
Hi.
He's actually
not witching.
He's historically would be the one to burn the witches. I think that's clear.
All right.
Yeah. Joe, can we get a roll?
You look like the kind of guy that would definitely like drown a woman and then be like, "Well, she didn't float."
Yeah, like
I was frozen and I couldn't say anything.
You were moving. We could see you moving.
Oh, my computer screen was completely froze, so I couldn't see y'all.
While you were gone, we decided that Schnars' ancestors definitely burned witches at the stake.
I mean, probably.
I'm just not fighting it, CC. You know that I've learned to do, so.
It's okay. I won't hold it against you.
Thank you.
John's family crest is actually just a pyre. Weird choice, but
technically.
Joining us from Indiana, please welcome Casey.
Hello.
And last up tonight, he's in Chicago. He drinks beer. He likes to rip on John with me. Please welcome Joe.
We fight because we love John.
There is only one thing that Joe and I see eye to eye on, and that is breaking Schnars' balls relentlessly.
I would say Limp Bizkit.
Yeah,
I was going to say Limp Bizkit too.
Two things.
Like the last 2 weeks, I have decided to put the call out to our listeners to find a decent Limp Bizkit cover that even comes close to living up to the original. Because so far we're 0 for 2.
I mean, that's the problem. Is how could you do it better?
There's got to be something out there, man.
Are you sure there's people out there that want to cover Limp Bizkit songs?
Well, no.
We've got 2. They've both been shitty.
I
I
imagine
heard the Pentatonics are considering an acapella just Limp Bizkit.
Oh, that would
album.
be. I might get into that.
Postmodern jukebox next month.
Yeah.
Speaking of covers, actually, not to cut you off, Eric, but we launched.
I got nothing to say, so.
We launched a weekly Spotify BGH team curated playlist this week. If you go on Spotify, just look up Bloody Good Horror under playlists. Every week we're going to do this pretty much Friday. I'm going to post up the theme to our internal staff. They're going to add any songs that they think fit that theme. And then Monday I'll post it up for everybody to enjoy. And so far we've gotten like a really good response in this first one, which was covers. It was all cover songs. People seem to be enjoying it. So we're going to do it for as long as I remember to set it up.
What's next?
So 3 weeks.
Next week.
So as long as you did the news.
Next week is
That was 3 years.
That was years.
We got
Every fucking day, CC.
That's true. It was every day.
I believe next week is One Hit Wonders.
Yeah, it definitely could be.
Could you just do me a favor when we get to One Hit Wonders and just make sure that Crash Test Dummies is on there?
Oh, 100%.
Oh,
so
come on, that's cold. I don't know.
I
They
pretty much
had
any
2
hits.
good songs. I still argue that.
no. I stole this idea from my office because we started doing it and like people really enjoy it. And this week's was One Hit Wonders. And literally it's like everybody had like 4 or 5, and then I shit you not, I have 75 songs just like piling up.
Well, I mean, they're
They're gonna call it off because of you.
They're younger. They're younger people, right, Joe?
Yeah.
I mean, like,
there was a few that they beat me to, but
we grew up during the decade when every #1 hit was a One Hit Wonder.
Oh, the 90s were nothing but,
Yeah.
fucking Barbie Girl, Cotton Eye Joe, Crash Test Dummies. Like, it was all...
I mean, this is how we got onto the Geordie discussion 400 episodes ago, but yeah.
Oh, I 100% put Geordie in the One Hit Wonders, and I guarantee no one in my office has ever heard that.
Was that? Hold on. How are you defining hit? Because that to me
That
feels.
thing was a huge hit, John.
Yeah.
Did it go? It wasn't like #1.
It was everywhere.
Well, I don't think they were referring to Box Office Mojo, John, but
No, well, I'm just saying. Was it like #1 Billboard? I don't
Number
know.
one in my heart, John.
John,
Yeah,
John,
sure, that might still be true.
John, shouldn't
Um,
he be gathering kindling somewhere?
Lord.
yeah. I did have a real moment with this last week's playlist with the William Shatner cover. What the fuck? What song was it? Common People.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
it's
I
great. Right?
It
Like,
just came on, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" I
Have you not
literally
heard
lost.
his Space Oddity cover?
Well, no. So then I did a little bit of research,
Yeah.
and this album, the Common People album, was from like '06 or '07. It was a Ben Folds collaboration
Hmm.
that was basically based on Ben Folds knowing about the previous, like the because he did, like, it was in the '70s, I guess, where he did a bunch of spoken word covers, and
Yeah.
it was a big hit, but apparently it was mostly as a novelty, let's say.
I
Yeah.
assume there was some Richard Cheese on there.
I
No?
will say, I don't know. I haven't listened to the original, the old one, but that William Shatner really blew my mind.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
Great.
good times.
So how do people get that, Joe? Sorry, I'm sure you said it already, but how do people find that?
So I'll post it up every week on our social media. Twitter, we're BG Horror. Facebook, I think we're facebook.com/Bloody Good Horror. But then you can just go to Spotify and search for Bloody Good Horror. We've had a few folks ask if we're going to put it up on Apple Music and a bunch of others, and the answer is no, because we have to like curate this like one by one. So I'm not going to go and copy it into Apple Music. So I'm sorry.
Who uses Apple Music? Like Dr. Dre, and that's it.
One of our listeners.
I believe it actually has more subscribers than Spotify globally.
I refuse to believe that.
Nonsense.
I literally know zero
I mean,
people
like,
who
that's
use it.
just like a fact. I don't know. I mean,
But if you like create an Apple account, are you automatically like tied into Apple Music too?
That's-
I think you
That's a
can.
good
Well,
point.
Joe, I don't know. I use Spotify, but I'm saying I think you could probably just like pop into Apple Music if you have an Apple ID and just go down.
John, name one person you know right now that uses it that's not over 60.
No, I'm not saying I know anybody that uses it. I'm just telling you
we
they
have
have
an Apple
more
Music
of a-
account because they have like the shows and stuff on it. But I mean, we definitely don't use it as often as Spotify.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cece. There you go, Eric. I
There you
know
go.
one person. It's Cece.
She just said she doesn't
Kyle.
use it. So anyway, Bloody Horror. We're here to talk about The Ranger. Because John, in 2019, there's all these streaming sites you see, and
I wasn't from. Excuse me.
there's a there's a
Where
race.
is this going?
There's a race for what they call content, John.
Mm.
Sometimes it doesn't even matter what it is, as long as it's content.
Well, I feel like
And you
this
can
is a
call it,
jam,
and
and
you
I don't know
can-
if we want to get into it right now. You have a lot of feelings.
Sure.
You've waxed poetic almost on the Netflix horror movie
Mm.
issue. Perhaps we're starting to see the the edges of some of the other streaming platforms. Is that where you're going?
Here's what I'll say. I'm actually not going anywhere, but I'm interested in having the discussion. The difference between this, I'm actually willing to give. We'll talk about it, but I'm willing to give this more of a pass than some of that Netflix stuff, because this is clearly like a pretty indie movie. I don't know like how much experience, how much experience the people who had this, who made this even have. Whereas like, you look at that. What was that Netflix movie with the dude from Westworld and in Alaska or whatever with the wolves?
Oh yeah, that's Jeremy Solnier.
that-
That's
With a proper script pass and a good editor, that movie could have been like legitimately amazing. You know what I mean? Like this is a more of a thing of like, I think it, whatever. I there's a little bit of a difference for me, but
yeah. No,
No, I
it
mean,
was-
at least they're like combing the festivals and stuff like that and finding stuff here in this, like with the Shudder one, even though if it's not always great,
Mm.
it's
Yeah.
it's interesting.
Well, the other one. So I don't know if do you guys get Shudder ads in, like, there are Shudder ads all over New York, but they happen. It's probably like, it's like once every couple months they'll do a big push. So like when Revenge got released, they did a huge push around Revenge. There's right now a huge push around Lizzie. So there's Lizzie ads all over New York City, buses, like bus stations, like like they're posters. They're not. Maybe
I live in
maybe-
Indiana. We don't have buses.
They've been outlawed.
Are you saying maybe we should have watched Lizzie for this week, John?
Well,
Is that
no.
what we're getting at?
I mean, no. What I was getting to is, like, at some point it might be interesting to check in on Lizzie, because that does seem to be the one that they're betting on. Like, they're definitely putting more effort behind Lizzie, or more. They're just putting their
Information
dollars.
that would have been useful last Thursday, John.
Well,
Yeah, well, we
well,
are.
but if
So-
you go to the website right now, literally in a giant thing in the top is
Yeah.
the Ranger.
Yeah. Yep.
No, totally. Well, exactly. When I logged in to watch this movie, it was the top. Yeah, in the top carousel, it was number one. You're right. So, no, I mean, well, Lizzie also has Chloe Sevigny and Kristen Stewart, if I'm
Yeah.
remembering from the ad that I saw today.
And
So-
axes.
Yes. There you go. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, we haven't seen that. I guess, what is this, like number 2 or 3 in the Shudder exclusives that we've watched?
I can't think of any other ones that we watched.
Revenge.
Revenge
Oh,
was
yeah,
another
sure,
big
sure, sure.
one. Yeah, there's
So it's
definitely
either
no. And I thought I know, or I'm not the murderer or something. Wasn't that a Shudder thing?
Oh yeah, with Allison Hannigan.
Hans Franz or whatever the hell that guy's name was.
Yeah.
Franz Kranz.
France.
He might be the killer.
I put my France Krantz on my salad.
Oh, I know. I didn't watch that movie. That was an episode
Joe,
I
you
was
ever have a chocolate covered Franz Kranz? That's where it's at.
Oh, I love them around the holidays. Put them in a bowl for the kids to enjoy.
Delicious
Oh my god.
and nutritious. That's the best part. Coming up here.
Izzy's computer's about to freeze again. Just
It is. It is. It's gonna happen.
Coming up here, we got a tweet with BGH. That is where you watch a movie and you tweet with BGH. That is hosted by Sophie and the new class there. Sunday this weekend, 5/26. That is Memorial Day weekend, so you can be drunk on Sunday, +1. 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern. They're going to be watching I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Ooh.
boy.
And if you go to the site tomorrow, or 2 days from now on Thursday, or maybe tomorrow when you hear this, there'll be a drinking game. You can drink along while you watch the movie.
That sounds fun. Is that streaming somewhere? I'll admit I have never actually seen that movie.
What is it?
I Know What You Did Last
I
Summer.
think,
Ah,
Joe, just
so
based on what
good.
I know of you, I think you'll really enjoy it as a 90s time. It's a
Yeah.
it is
Yeah,
a pitch
that's-
perfect, late 90s time capsule.
How would you compare it to Pitch Perfect? Though?
Pitch Perfect is
There's
less
less
singing.
singing.
Pitch
Ooh.
Perfect is better,
High
but
five.
I still enjoy it.
Oh, you owe me a Coke.
I already have a coat.
Joe,
You'll probably love your mother-in-law.
Joe, considering Pitch Perfect is almost a perfect movie, I'm not sure that I Know What You Did Last Summer is as good. But
Agreed. Although Leslie, my wife, she cannot stand what's her name there, the main character.
Anna Kendrick.
Yeah.
America's
very
America's
divisive.
sweetheart,
Yeah.
Anna Kendrick. Who doesn't like Anna Kendrick?
I like her.
Joe's
I'm just
wife.
saying I've heard other people who also don't like her. Joe's wife is not the
I've-
only one.
Yeah.
I find that
My brother loves
Disturbing.
her, and he's a nurse, and she apparently had really bad kidney stones in Atlanta, which I probably shouldn't say this, I guess.
Is this
But
like
anyway,
a HIPAA violation? My
No.
God.
I
John-
know, right? But
John.
he got really excited that he got to meet her, but obviously, he couldn't say anything about it at the time.
John, they
Did
don't
he
have John. They
Keep
don't
one of her kidney stones.
John. They don't have
Oh, gross.
John. They don't have HIPAA laws in the South. They don't care about your privacy.
But we don't have any
Yeah.
health care for women in the South, so
Yeah, this is getting a little
Oh,
too
Jesus,
a little too
Izzy.
real
All
right now.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Just-
yeah, exactly.
So
You're sorry. I'm gonna die.
Anna
You
Kendrick
can-
is cool.
I got a couch for you whenever you need. It's all I'm saying.
Oh, speaking of equality for all, the BGH meetup. We weren't going to talk about it, but in September, I am now an ordained minister. I got my card in the mail yesterday. I have marriage licenses. If anyone wants to get married, the weekend doesn't.
That was the time.
Yeah, I will 100% marry you at the BGH meetup in September.
And
Like
I would just
all
like
for this.
I would just like to chime in here as the voice of reason and say that you probably think that Joe's being sarcastic.
Nope,
I
100%
understand
real.
that. He's not, and we want.
And you know what? Kyle is also an ordained minister, so you could have joint weddings at the
Oh,
same
boy.
time
He-
together,
we-
and then
Oh,
y'all
boy.
could just get married. It'd be perfect.
We could marry
guys-
each other
you
to
guys
each
could
other.
marry
My
yourself.
wife's ordained too, so we could have a whole group marriage thing.
Yes!
But no lie, I really, really want us to marry somebody at this thing.
Oh my
I
god!
think it would
More
be
than anything.
our crowning achievement as people and as a podcast. So let's make it happen. We'll buy you some champagne. Whatever
Mhm.
happens from there, no promises.
Oh,
but
well,
we'll
it'll
see.
be a great wedding party. Like let's
Yeah.
Yeah,
let's be real
absolutely.
here.
Yeah.
And
You guys
that-
know that this is going to end in tears with Eric and Vodka Schnars getting married out in front in the middle of the
Yeah.
street.
Somebody,
I don't know.
it'll be me drunk screaming at them. Look, someone's got to do it.
I don't know.
You promise.
I don't know. Is Schnarr's marriage legal in Illinois?
Yeah,
Think so.
Polygamy might still be legal. Who knows?
we're cool with
Wild
everything.
West.
They're further along than Indiana. It can't be that bad.
Wow, that's not really saying much.
Oh god.
Great. No, let's do it. Seriously, there's definitely 2 people out there listening right now who want to get married, and they're like, they're listening to the show together, and they're like, "LOL, wouldn't that be funny if we did that?" Like, no, it would be awesome, and let's do it.
See, I would be more excited if it was 2 people who don't know each other right now, but who are listening to the show and write in and are like, I really want to get married, but I don't know who I'm going to get married to. And maybe we could be the matchmaker and the marriage.
So this is
Doer
like
at the
you're
same
you're
time.
imagining some kind of like Sleepless in Seattle scenario.
Yes. But like
Yeah.
they're sending their emails to info@bloodygoodhorror and you're coordinating it. That's the best part.
We got time. We could revamp Killer Flicks into a dating site.
Ugh,
I don't
no,
think
that's-
Mark's going to do that. Just
Just
to be
swipe left.
I'm not sure what this killer flicks is you speak of.
That
but-
sounds like too much work for Mark.
Yeah. Let's get the first site working first.
He's got free time now. He's not on the show, so
It's true. It's true.
Oh, Jesus.
Boy, Joseph Charnews, ordained
Very
minister. What a
excited.
world. What kind of stuff did you
Yeah.
have to do to get that?
I got a card. Well, it's you can do it online, but I just want everyone to know that like I sprung for like the $50 and got like the card, the marriage licenses. Like I have literally all the materials in my hand right now to marry someone.
And Joe, are you performing a service? Like, did you do this for, or is this like you always wanted to like be able to do marriages?
did it for
I've
the spectacular.
I've always thought it would be like interesting to actually be able to do that. And I forgot the other day, like we were talking about it on Slack, and I'm like, I'm gonna look into this. And then I, took the afternoon and did some research, and here we
Just
are.
another terrible, no good thing born of Slack.
Yeah.
I'm sure I've mentioned this at some point. I performed the wedding service for both of my sisters. So I was the officiant. Now, I'm not legally able to marry them in Pennsylvania. They're very restrictive about these things. And then in Florida, they're less restrictive, but we still just did it legally with a judge and all beforehand. But
Did you bother
It's
shaving
fun.
for that? Because you don't seem to care about doing it for the show.
Oh, yeah. No, I changed. Guess what? I even dry cleaned my suit beforehand, which I know might be a
Oh.
foreign concept to the rest of
Ooh,
you on the show.
Fancy.
But
Look at this
I
guy
did.
with a dry cleaner.
No.
Okay.
Reason. I don't know. If I take that suit out, it doesn't stink to high heaven. There's no reason to
I'm
clean
gonna
it.
I'm gonna be real with you, John. Not a single person wrote in this week to say that was weird.
No, we did get some.
there was definitely some feedback on Slack.
I didn't
Yeah.
I didn't see it. So
I know.
And
well,
sometimes
you
you
were
find hidden
Fine.
snacks from the last wedding.
Yeah, usually I find like a card or like
or like
the,
$5. Yeah, like could like tip
Oh, yeah.
money. You know,
The
from
money is-
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
I'm big on the breast pockets in the jacket. I store so much shit in there, and then it shows up, and you're like, oh, that was a good time.
Well, to be fair, we have seen you. We saw you at Mark's wedding, so I would agree that you probably should dry clean your suit. Like Eric and I, on the other hand, like we're probably okay.
I'm typically not vomiting on myself, so
I don't usually end
Yo,
up. In
I
gutter.
did not. There was no throwing up at that wedding. I might not have been able to stand up at the end of the night, but that's neither here nor there.
fair. Hey Joe.
That shit was hanging on a hanger, by the way, when I woke up the next morning. So
Joe, speaking of Schnars not being able to handle his booze. What are we drinking tonight? Beer guts.
The Ranger. Had to call a last-minute audible because John made me feel bad about my original pick, which was New Belgium's Ranger, which I thought fit perfectly fine. But because of his insults, I picked a beer from the folks at Knee Deep Brewing Company. They're all the way out in Auburn, California, and the beer I picked from them is their Hop Deranged. John, can you get that?
well done, Joe.
Thanks. I appreciate your proof. So this is and I don't know if I've done one of these before, but a triple IPA.
Whew.
Which
Oh,
means
boy.
it's 3 times your normal IPA or 2 times your double IPA. Yeah, think about it. What that really
Is that
means.
how the math works?
Yeah, that's the internet and math. what that means is they just put a bunch more hops in there. Like there's no like defined style of what makes a quad or a double. Like it just we put a bunch of shit in there and now it's super crazy. This one comes in at 13.1% alcohol, so it's a spicy meatball. You might want to only have 3 or 4 of these before allowing me to marry you at a public event. As you'd expect, very hoppy. This is sort of like a traditional, just like straightforward West Coast IPA. So you get a ton of hop in the initial bite. A little bit of like sort of the alcohol that you would expect from a beer this high in the ABV, but nothing super overwhelming. The aroma like very big and like the piney sort of lemony hops. This one, it's a sipper. It's not a down 5 of these in 3 minutes and then go pick up the kids at school. Like you're gonna want to take your time with this, but it's very good. I've had it a couple times when I've been out west, and I'm a fan of the stuff I've had from Knee Deep, so I wholeheartedly recommend the stuff that they put out. kneedeepbrewing.com is their website, and feel free to enjoy it. Thank you.
You give them permission to enjoy it?
Yeah, I'm gonna say, hey guys, summer's here. Enjoy yourself.
Great, I love it. What are you drinking this time of year, Joe?
I am actually drinking it's a limited release from this Lazy Dog. They're a like small restaurant chain out west that just opened here, and they have a beer club that they do like quarterly collaborations with that I signed up for, and this is it's called, I can't even read the thing. It's like Bushcraft or something. Yeah, Bushcraft. I don't know who the hell made it, but they put out like an 8-pack that you can pick up if you sign up for their beer membership from Tighthead Brewing. They're out west or out east. It's like a collaboration. It's very good. I'm a big fan. Evan is a big fan of Lazy Dog. I am a huge fan now that they moved here. Yeah, cool story, huh?
Cool story. All right, guys, it's time. Let's take a break so we can discuss The Ranger.
This is it, Shudder. Your big break in TV. From the prime time, bitch. Main feature.
Fun fact, John. Probably this is not a fun fact for Cece. I should just state this ahead of time. But
Great.
I actually work with someone whose ancestor was killed during the Salem witch trials.
Wow.
And he
Good
likes
for
to
you.
he likes to tell this story about how one time he was at a party and met someone from one of the families of the burners.
Oh, Jesus.
I believe his name was James P. Schnorrs.
Oh, stop! It's probably not that uncommon because how
Yeah.
many people did they kill? It wasn't it in the 70s or was it less than that?
I mean, I live in like New England, New England, so there's just people go deep around here, John.
well, no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like there's like a lot of families that were impacted.
Yeah, like they still have the
they don't-
same. He's still got the same like surname and everything. So
Didn't we watch that Rob Zombie documentary about it?
yes, we
It
did.
showed like a lot of the history.
He
Yeah.
did.
Yeah. No, he
Wait,
he
what?
nailed
Are
it.
you joking? Is that a joke? I was legit not clear on where you're
Oh,
going.
God.
Don't worry about it, Jeff.
Hey, John.
31. You're talking about 31?
31 flavors. Hey, John.
Yes.
Please bring us the word of the day.
Eric, today's word, gallant.
Oh.
Gallant.
You mean gallant?
Gallant, gallant. I don't know.
I have never in my
Oh, John.
I have never in my life heard anyone say gallant.
No, gallant. Gal-
Potatoes.
yeah, pretty sure you can go either way. Gallant.
No.
Gallant. Brave or heroic. Of a man or his behavior, giving special attention and respect to women. Chivalrous.
Ah.
Yeah, there's a verb. They list a verb here. It says obviously of a man. It says flirt.
Obviously.
Well, no, because it's flirt with a woman. So somehow I've never heard it used as a verb. It does say archaic next to it, so presumably it's not used.
Isn't that also known just as flirt with a woman?
Yeah, well, in archaic times, one might have said gallant. So this comes to us from the Old French. Well, it comes to us originally from the French through Middle English. Gallant from galère, have fun, make a show. From gale, meaning pleasure or rejoicing.
Huh.
Yeah, it would have been complete bullshit if I picked Ranger for my beer. Yeah, sorry, Joe.
So, Joe, you're going to like this.
Mm.
Gallant. It comes to us from the Ranger Handbook. The Ranger Creed. The Ranger Creed is an acrostic, which I find a little ridiculous. So the first word is recognizing and then acknowledging, never. The G, and I'm just going to read this. Gallantly will I show the world that I am a specially selected and well-trained soldier. My courtesy to superior officers, neatness of dress, and care of equipment shall set the example for others to follow.
And
I'll be
flirting
honest,
with
John.
women.
You kind of pulled it out at the end. I'll give it to you.
That's from the Ranger Creed.
Cece,
There you
D
go.
plus.
Cece, you're also you.
Plus.
Cece, you also know words. Would you ever say gallant to somebody in a conversation? I just want to make sure we get this on the
Have
record.
you used the word gallant in a conversation?
I've definitely heard it
I
many
mean,
times, and
Yeah, like I've used gallant. Like
no.
when-
Would you say gallant?
no.
Okay.
I mean, what if you were like mocking them in like sort of a hillbilly voice, like,
Yes.
"Oh, you're
Like,
one of them gallant type fellas."
Yes, 1,000%.
Oh, Jesus. All right. The Ranger, shall we?
I don't know. I kind of like this time of conversation.
Yeah, let's keep going.
Sure, John.
Gallant sounds like a shitty car I owned in the 80s.
Let's,
Oh, it does.
Chrysler
Is it
Gallant.
Mitsubishi?
Actually, yes. I think
is.
that in the South, people are. Isn't that car a gallant? Like it's not a gallant car.
Okay.
well,
It's a
there's also
Mitsubishi Gallant.
I will
there's
accept.
also Goofus and Gallant. I believe you pronounce it Gallant in that.
No, it's not. That's not even what. Okay, go ahead. Just tell me what this
All
movie
right.
is about.
No. Hey, I thought you wanted to get into it, but here we are.
Yeah.
The Ranger, a Shudder exclusive. Originally, kind of made the scene in 2018, but it just got wide distribution through Shudder. They picked it up, as Casey mentioned, sort of off the festival circuit. So it was kind of in and around different festivals in the second half of last year. But yeah, so this comes to us from Jen Wexler, who I was looking at her IMDb. The only thing notable is probably this movie Darling, which was from 2015. She produced. We did not watch for the show. I don't even remember why, but that's another sort of indie horror. It's got our buddy, what the hell's his name, who plays the uncle here, who's kind of Larry Fessenden. He's sort of the I don't know what you want to call him, the grandfather of indie horror these days. I feel like he pops up in all these things.
It's so funny because you wouldn't even know it was him unless you really knew who that dude was.
Well, yeah, I mean, we should talk about it. I really do think he's doing something where he's showing up across so many of these movies. Like, he almost is the thread. And I don't know if he's producing. I think he might have been listed as an executive producer
Wait a
here.
second.
He
Wait a
produces.
second.
He makes he does a lot on the back end for these indie movies with producing
John.
and directing and stuff like that.
John, are you proposing that there's a Fessenden verse?
Oh,
There may be. It doesn't
Wow.
have the creative, I don't know, je ne sais quoi of the Wanaverse.
You
but
heard it here
Festivus?
first. You heard it here first, folks. Multiverses where there's always at least one Larry Fessenden. And
I
he's
think
always
he's just kind of
he's always in trouble.
he's just glomming on to whoever wants to make an indie horror movie and has like $10 is what it sort of looks like. But some of them are actually quite good.
he's always in
This-
the background making you think, is that Jack Nicholson's dirty uncle?
I was like
This-
really trying to come up with a good like Larry Fessenden joke, and then Joe beat me to it.
I would say crushed you. Yeah,
Yeah.
crushed you. I'm all right. I'm gonna try to think. I did not think about the fact that this movie is very non-linear in a lot of ways. So we open with a girl, and interestingly, it's the same actress who plays the 7-year-old to 8-year-old daughter in Pet Sematary. So I immediately was like, who the hell is this girl? And I had to go look it up. But we open with this girl. We see her
That's
sitting.
what happened.
Well, no, like she's got like a distinctive look to her. So I was like, what the, but in any event, we open up with her. She's sitting across the table from this guy dressed up as a park ranger, and he's sort of I mean, they're just having a conversation. He's making her a sandwich. He's using a huge knife to cut the crusts off. So it's very sort of stilted in a lot of ways, but it's not. It's very hard to sort of understand what the hell's going on. She seems to be very disturbed, and then cops show up, and then we sort of smash cut to the future. Now she's a 15-year-old, it's a 17, 18-year-old, I don't know. She's a teenager. She's got pink hair. She's fallen in with a punk crowd, and we see her at a punk show.
Dreaded punks. I'm actually excited too, because when you just said punk, I remembered that we have to have Cece tell us some ex-boyfriend stories tonight.
Oh, man. We could go deep on some punk stuff here. Yeah, so we see her, and then there's like 20 minutes of punks just doing punk things, but it's not really developing the plot. So we see them doing drugs. We see them putting drugs into a bag. Then the cops show up. They break up the show. There's a lot of running away. Essentially, all of this is a setup to get them to run away and flee to in a pseudo stolen van to the mountains where this girl has a house. She basically tells them, hey, I have this house. I haven't been there in years. My uncle used to have the house, but my uncle's dead, and we could go there to hide out from the cops, because they basically, the one guy stabs a cop, they steal his gun, and then they run away. And so
because apparently when you die, like, nothing happens with your property. It just stays in your name forever. And nobody moves in.
Well, somebody goes and boards it up, and it sits there waiting for a relative
plants
to return.
perennials.
All right, so they do that, and so there's like all this like punk stuff is really kind of a setup to get them to go back to the mountains. It's a group of, there's 4 folks, and then the main girl Chelsea. So you've got sort of crazy punk guy. He's the one who stabs the cop. I believe that's Garth. Then you have a gay couple that their names on IMDb are Jerk and Abe. And then there's the woman or girl whose van they stole, and she was passed out in the back of the van when they stole it. Her name's Amber. And they all just sort of go up into the mountains where they run into the ranger. And then weird shit starts to happen.
Did anyone else, just one of the many things I was confused by in this movie, did anyone else like get no hint that they were a gay couple until they started making out?
I kind of noticed, like, when they were at the they're like almost burning something, or there's like they kind of started a campfire.
Yeah,
but they're in the mountains at that
I was
point.
like, oh.
But I liked that. Like, I liked that, like, you didn't like that wasn't their characters was to be the gay couple.
Well, no,
totally.
but typically when there's 2 characters with a love interest, like, you get something, right? Before, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just me.
Yeah, I was similar to you, Eric. I was
like,
slightly confused. I thought that the one character was actually like the love interest for Chelsea.
I did too, actually. Yeah, that was the other thing.
And then he started making out with the other dude, and you're kind of like, oh, all right, well, that's what like. It wasn't like shocking, but I was also a little.
It just threw me.
Confusing to me.
They're punks, don't they all trade off anyways?
I don't think you know. That's not.
Is that a punk
this
thing,
isn't like
or?
a '70s key party, Casey.
We're gonna have to go to. I will just be upfront and say I don't know that much about like sort of what the punk.
Yeah, see, I don't think the filmmakers did either, so I think you're ahead of the game, John.
I don't think the person that made this movie did either, so I wouldn't worry about
It's
it.
very much like a trip to Hot Topic and then write the script and then bang it out.
Yeah.
Cece, what'd you think of this?
I hadn't heard anything about it before I started watching it, which probably was good because I didn't really like it. I didn't necessarily hate it. I mean, I thought the acting was fine, and, you know, the cinematography was all right. The storyline got a little, I don't know, convoluted, maybe. Like, it just didn't really seem like it knew what it was trying to do. And it also kind of felt like a Costco version of Green Room, and I just couldn't really get past that.
Yeah. Casey.
I didn't really like the first part of this movie where they're all punks doing punk stuff. It was just kind of dumb. And like Cece said, the storyline's convoluted. It's kind of hard to figure out what the hell's going on with the flashbacks and how it ties into modern times, things like that. I would argue, though, that once the crazy shit starts happening, once we get to like this into the second act and the third act of this movie, I enjoyed this a lot more. Excuse me. once the ranger started doing his ranger thing out in the woods. I enjoyed that. There was some good 80s-ness kind of to some of the violence and the gore and stuff. And then none of it was spectacular, and it didn't save the movie by any means. But there was a good 40 minutes of this movie. I was okay with it. I was entertained when they're going around and running around the woods and chasing each other. And other than that, I think the ranger looks dead like Zach Morris, and it threw me off. So
Wait.
What?
from
Wait,
Saved by the
Saved
Bell.
Like
What?
Zach Morris,
No,
if
he-
he were like
He means like the adult version of Zach
Yeah.
Morris.
Yeah, he looks like Rob Riggle, like almost
Yeah.
identical.
yes.
Oh, he
He
looks
is-
like Zach Morris, dude, especially from that vampire show that was just on The Passage.
No. Zach
Yeah.
Morris, if like somebody trapped him in a room full of farts and then slapped him on his back so his face stayed the same forever. Potentially.
Okay. Hey Joe, what do you think?
I am probably more down on this than CC and Casey have been. Right off the bat, like I've complained about this a lot, especially like when we have movies that have like the metal guy in it, and the metal guy has like a Metallica poster, and like that's how you know it. Like these punks, like they're so obnoxious and so fucking ridiculous. Like they saw a Rancid music video and they're like, "Yeah, this is what we're gonna do." Like purple hair, done. We're punk now.
Well, I was about to say, the music they're playing is not punk at
So
all.
shitty, so fucking awful. Like
Yeah.
just
Oh
like,
my God, guys.
unbearable.
The claws are out for this
I
punk
mean,
music.
listen.
Like and there's so many
Rawr.
things that like we can nitpick. Like this movie's only an hour and 27, hour 22 with credits.
Yeah.
And it's not till like the 50-minute mark that we actually get Ranger doing crazy Ranger stuff, which is ridiculous also. Up until that, it's literally just this Chloe character realizing that her friends that she brought to this house are just a bunch of assholes and she doesn't really like them. So
Yeah.
you're left there wondering why she was friends with them to begin with. So I just, a lot about this really, really annoyed me. And I was not a fan at all.
Sean.
I'll go to bat for the actor Jeremy Holm, who's either a bad Zach Morris knockoff or
He's like a-
someone who was locked in a room with farts. I don't know, whatever Joe's
Yeah.
thing was. So he plays the Ranger. The best thing you can say about this movie is that the idea that there's this just wacky, psycho serial killer ranger prowling around a park for a decade
Thumbs up.
it's like there's a thing there that you could turn into a horror movie, and he is the guy that I would be okay with them making a full movie out of.
Yeah.
He's like suitably weird. There's a lot of this movie where he's just sort of there's like a lot of dialogue which is somewhat strange. It makes the pacing here is kind of all over the map, and there's a lot of sort of like back and forth exchanges, but he's suitably weird in them that they're more entertaining than a lot of other parts of the movie.
Yeah.
So I'm here for the Ranger, the character of the Ranger. The script is just so frickin' disastrous in so many ways. Like, putting aside the punks and whether they're punk enough and the music is fucking
They're not,
good
Chuck.
or not.
They're
No.
not.
Okay, fine. But like, I'm willing to be fine with that if the movie itself is good. There is no hint that this is a horror movie until like 45 minutes into an hour and 20-minute long movie.
Yeah,
And
that's fair.
it's just fucking wacky.
That's
It's
fair.
very wacky.
I'm gonna preface everything I have to say about this movie with the fact that like it's a very indie production, and so I think like to an extent, I don't know, it feels like something put together maybe with a little inexperience or something. I actually can't even say because I haven't really looked into the filmmaker's history and the people who made it, but I think like John saying, there's definitely something to this idea of wacky park ranger slasher film. And I think that Dime Store Rob Riggle is great casting. I think he's got a lot of personality. The movie shines when he's just doing wacky slasher stuff, and he's got this whole shtick thing where he's like overly concerned about, like, it's actually kind of goes back to like 80s slashers in a way, with like this moralizing that he's doing in a
Yeah.
fun way. It's not really like capitalized on very well, I think, but it's definitely like they do try to hit it some, but like the biggest problem with the script is what it's really trying to do is like thread this needle. It's trying to have this like big emotional punch that I don't think it's really up to the task, doesn't really earn. It is trying to have a big twist at the end with this punch. It's trying to like thread this needle with flashbacks where it's like it wants to intentionally leave you in the dark about this girl's past and about her relation to the park ranger. The problem is that like they're either showing you like too much or too little in these. Like I was so confused. And let me say this, like we've all seen the movie now and spent all day arguing about what we actually think was happening, like who some of these characters were. Like it is so bizarre and confusing. Like I don't know. If somebody were to come to me and say this is exactly what happened, I feel like I would challenge them, be like, "How do you know?" Because the movie does not really present a logical flow of events, even when it's all over. And what was happening was while I'm watching this boring punk part, I'm just like very confused, and my confusion just kept growing as the movie went on. So
It growed worse because you asked me to explain it over IM, and I thought I understand it. And then as you're watching it, I realized I had no idea what the hell was going on.
It was like we were confused about different things, so then we were both confused. It was like a whole thing. I'm almost.
It just made it worse.
But like, there's two other big problems. One, the punk thing, and the fact that the ranger is a serial killer are like completely superfluous plot things. Like in some ways you could get rid of both things and just have him like go crazy or something. Like the punk thing, okay?
There's no explanation for his behavior either way.
Yes.
Even the serial killer part is just like it's not like you see a lot of other bodies that he's produced.
No. The punk thing, we'll get to that, but like it's played up literally. It's like the whole opening scene. It's like the credits. They want to do this like funky stylized punk thing, and it's like you feel like you look at a movie like Deathgasm, right? A Deathgasm is a movie about metal that is influenced by metal from start to finish. Like this movie has a couple punk characters in it, and it has some wacky beginning credits. Other than that, it has nothing to do with the punk scene whatsoever. Like you could have removed that part and it would have changed almost materially nothing about the movie. And then the fact that like they want it to be, they do absolutely. You don't know anything about this park ranger. Why is he a serial killer? What's his motivation? Like, it's all about like the final girl, which is fine, but the actual horror movie part is like happening over here with no backstory or explanation for what's happening.
Well, and the final girl, to your point, and this is, I said the script is sort of a mess. It's I had said it at the top, it's non-linear. There's so much that's shown in flashbacks, but you do wonder whether or not the script was, let's say, 20 pages longer, and that there's actually like a lot of movie that they shot, and they were like, oh shit, like we got to cut this down. It almost has that feel because, to your point, there's so much stuff that doesn't make any sense or feels like it comes somewhat out of nowhere that there's just no way someone writes a logical script and ends up at some of these things. So I don't know.
It's absolutely like, to me, it's a prime example of like biting off more that you can chew. And also like you're trying to do this all in an hour and 20.
But this is where I don't want to be like I was going to try to come in and be the person who was like, well, it's fine, whatever. But the worst part about this is that it could have actually been much, much better if they just start with they can make them punks, whoever the fuck, put the characters all in the house in minute 1. They literally spend 30 minutes getting them to the house. You show them getting to the house in flashback, or don't show it at all, because who fucking cares?
Yeah, we don't need the
literally
connection.
here. You're here for the fucking Ranger. The movie's called The Ranger.
Yeah, we don't need the backstory of Chelsea's connection to the Ranger too. He could be a fucked up Ranger living by himself in the woods.
Yeah. Well, again, look, and they can tell you the connection through, like, you can still do the flashback stuff, but like, don't waste all the time with like these 5 people getting to that. That was the weirdest part.
Yeah, so once they get to the cabin, there's this scene where the one girl, like a shot rings out from the woods, and it like nicks the one girl's ear. That from that point on in the movie, like the pacing at least picks up, right? Because then the Ranger stuff starts happening.
Well, shit starts to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still a little all over the place.
But the problem is you're like 50 minutes into an hour and a half movie at that
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
It's not even an hour and a half. It's like an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. And I think we kind of nitpicked a lot of this over email, but the one that sticks out to me is what we were talking about today is like the whole like Ranger, what's her name? Chloe, right?
Yeah, Chelsea.
Chelsea. The whole Chelsea like Ranger dynamic hinges on the fact that like we find out, and I guess we're getting into like spoiler territory here, but like we find out that Chelsea accidentally shot her uncle and killed him. He fell off the cliff. The uncle, quote unquote, like took the rap for her. But like, if you think about that, like there's no reason for a grown man to take the rap for an 8-year-old that accidentally shot someone. Like
Just say it was an accident, movie over.
that shit happens all the time. Like they don't lock up 8-year-olds for life based on this, but like that's the whole like motivation of him like becoming obsessed with her towards the end, and like we get this whole like wolf thing, which we don't really get an explanation on.
No,
like,
there's a conversation where he says something to the effect of, "I saw you and I realized we had a connection," and he's basically implying that she's a wolf too. But you don't get to your you never get him explaining what the wolf is.
Here's the problem.
No.
Here's the problem with the whole thing. They are withholding too much information in the beginning.
Yeah.
The first flashback scene we see, the Ranger's hanging out with a girl, and I'm immediately like, okay, like he molested her, because he's having this really creepy conversation with her about like what happened today. Like, so you're immediately like, what the hell is going on, right? Then we flash back to normal times with not enough information. She runs into him at the gas station, and they both seem like totally nonplussed by running into each other after like 18 years or whatever.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah,
Well, no, they
good to
they
see
didn't-
you.
He did say he
didn't
didn't
recognize-
recognize her.
Yeah, they didn't recognize each other at that point.
No, they
She
did.
I
recognized
thought
him.
she recognized him.
Yeah, she totally did. And and then he says in the conversation,
Then he
he's
says he
like, oh, I
recognizes
didn't
her, yeah.
recognize you at first. And they're both like, oh, hey, how's it going? What's up?
Yeah.
And you're just like,
And-
you don't even,
That's
first
just
of all,
part of the punk attitude.
you-
Is like you don't give a shit.
like you don't even,
Well-
but the problem is you don't even know what their relationship is yet, because that's a piece of information they're choosing to save until literally like the final 10 minutes of the movie. And so
Well, and
what
that
any
go-
of
that
what
plays
any
up
of these
later.
what any of these moments mean earlier in the movie are totally lost, for starters. And like I wasn't even sure, I thought they were related. I thought it was like her dad or something for like
Yeah,
at least
me
40
too.
minutes of this movie, because they don't give you enough information. I don't know. It really pissed me off, that part, actually. Like, anyone? No?
Agreed.
I kind of
Agreed.
want to hear some CC Punk stories now.
Yeah, that's
Are we
more
ready
what
for
I'm
that?
interested in. Like, yeah.
Cece, Cece, explain to me this quote-unquote punk house you lived in. What's a punk house? I assume it smells.
I mean, it wasn't as bad as some of our friends' houses, but yeah, I mean, I lived with a boyfriend and then another couple, and you know, it was just the quintessential party house.
Mm.
There was a lot of like bonfires out of like trash can barrels, and so much horrible punk music. And then they used to play not when we would go to other punk houses, they would play Not My House, which is basically where you go and just literally fuck up somebody else's house beyond oblivion, and then you ghost.
I never understood that. Like, why? And because I've
So punk.
definitely been a part of these sort of happenings as well. Like, I understand why you hate other people's stuff so much. Like,
right?
These people invited you
it's-
into their home.
It's anti-establishment. I don't know.
Forever, when
But yeah.
when I think of like band or like music scene people living together now, I just think of Lords of Chaos and that dude like burying his jacket in the ground. I don't know why. That's just like where I go.
It was kind of similar to that. It wasn't as extreme. Our house was obviously less punkish than some other ones, but you know, I mean, I sent you those pictures. That was pretty much every day. Like we cut my mohawk on our carport one day during a bonfire, and I mean, it was
What kind of punks are we talking here? Are these dudes wearing like flannel pants?
no, no, that was more high school. This is just more like cut off jean jackets and vests and a lot of patches.
Okay, so this is like softcore punk.
What year was this?
2011.
Oh Jesus
Wow.
Christ! It was like on like my fourth job. I had a kid. What the fuck?
Oh,
I was worried
Cece.
about my 401k, and Cece was doing meth off of a cardboard box.
I had a 401k at that time too. Thank you very much. Because during the day I worked at a CPA firm, and then I would go home to a punk house.
Wow.
That's so weird. Like
so punk.
those kids have like no idea what the hell's going on. That's actually, now that we're talking about this, like reminds me of another thing. Like this Chelsea character, I don't know if she's supposed to be likable, but she's
None of
doing
the characters
crystal
are
meth
likable.
at the beginning of the movie. You're like,
Well, it's not even her. It's her like friend slash boyfriend who's the big a-hole. He is unbearably unlikable. Like it's almost
There-
impossible
yeah.
to continue watching him on screen. Which
yeah,
is like
I mean, she's definitely like the least unlikable of the group, but
but
still, you're like,
basically
you
the whole,
associate yourself with these assholes.
the way
like,
they justify the inclusion of the whole punk thing basically was that she, because of what happened when she was a kid, she's kind of like fallen in with like a bad crowd, so to speak, and they try to have this weird, again, like unearned character moment where this kid who's just been a complete shithead a-hole the entire movie suddenly starts giving her a lecture about like taking responsibility for her life or whatever. This dude stabbed a cop, okay? And he's like moralizing to her about taking responsibility for like your shitty life or whatever. Meanwhile, her shitty life means him, like the fact that she's hanging out with
Yeah.
him. It's like, I see what they were trying to do here. It just doesn't work.
Well, that's the thing that kind of like stuck in the back of my mind. Like, they're up there, they're spray painting trees, and like she's losing her shit because she doesn't want to hurt the trees. But meanwhile, your boyfriend stabbed a fucking cop, and like you're fine with it.
And also, like, is it even her boyfriend? Because then he's trying to bang that other chick. I don't know what happens in these punk houses, Cece.
I mean,
Now we're going to a
There's-
dark place.
yeah, I'm like, obviously there's some infidelity, but it wasn't me doing that.
Where one punk ends and one begins.
Wow. Don't want any part of that. Here, I'm about to send you a picture of my old roommates.
Oh, nice. All right, can I
Alright.
put this one
Where do-
picture? Can I put this one picture in the video that you sent for?
Oh, sure.
Oh, cool. Here we go. Punk Cece. I like the blonde hair.
Thanks. So it was shaved on both sides, but I had it really long on top and back so I could have a like full mohawk.
Hmm.
Was this Atlanta? Were these
Yes.
Atlanta punks?
Yes.
There's a lot to unravel here. I mean,
Oh, those are like dudes my brother hung out. That's like Mark Punk.
Okay. Like what punk?
Mark Punk.
Nice. Okay.
Literally, I'm sure Mark has a picture. I think Mark has this exact picture. Is what I'm saying. He was there.
Mustache and all.
that's him in back. You just can't see him. He's too short.
Yeah. Oh.
Where do we go from here, guys?
I don't know.
Well, so Eric, would you like to go give your rant, or maybe not a rant, but would you like to develop your narrative around Shudder Originals?
No, I just think I think it's just interesting. We get stuck in this thing where we're trying to pick a movie, and somebody's like, "Hey, this thing's on Shudder. Let's do this." And on the one hand, it's like I can't watch this kind of thing all the time, but I also think there's a service we could be doing. I mean, like, so what we used to do in the beginning of the show is like we'd see everything that hit theaters, right? Like literally no matter what it was. And we had a lot of, I think, interesting conversations about some of the worst movies we saw in theaters because it gives you the chance to kind of break, like, I think there's as much value to breaking down cinema that doesn't work as there is to breaking down what does work, right?
Oh yeah,
Um,
it's often more fun to talk about the stuff that doesn't work.
I just think we're also like more irritable and impatient these days because we're all old and cranky. But
Well,
again,
we
like,
have less time, so when you watch something that sucks, you're like, ah, fuck.
yeah. So, but in that sense, I think maybe we might save some people some time here.
Yeah, you were sort of making the point earlier around. I mean, so because you were comparing this to fuck, now I'm gonna forget the name of the movie, but the Jeremy Solnire Alaska wolf deal.
Well, I mean, I guess my
mean-
point is I wouldn't compare the two.
Well, no. I mean, what's interesting because more broadly, the point you were making right at the top was like all of these streaming services are going after original content, right? Like it's the reason you have a Netflix subscription now. It used to be that you just got it because they had The Office and they had Friends and all this shit. Well, they're gonna lose The Office and Friends at some point.
And I'm probably
they're-
gonna get rid of it.
Well, maybe, but like they're also gonna continue to try to have interesting shit that you're gonna want to watch. And like right now, the big headline is like, who's gonna have the next Game of Thrones? Because Game of Thrones, honest to God, made HBO's last 5 years, right? Like HBO has done a lot of other interesting shit in the last 5 years, but most people have either bought or maintained their subscriptions because they wanted to see the end of Game of Thrones, and now it's done, and it's like, okay,
Oh
so
no,
Netflix is
I
trying to do something?
literally only have it active during Game of Thrones and then I get rid of it.
Sure. Well, and so Netflix is going into this strategy. I mean, we can talk about obviously like Amazon but I think Netflix is like very clearly with some of the genre stuff going after the strategy of like very high end talent, let them do what they want to do, and like sometimes it's working out, and that's where you get the Mike Flanagan stuff. Mike Flanagan's done a lot of good work for Netflix already, and sometimes you get the Jeremy Saulnier movies that, you know, for me that was in my top 10 whatever it was a year or two ago. It's still a movie that I think about a lot. It like comes up because
What movie are we talking about?
the like Alaska Wolf one. I'm forgetting what the hell.
Yeah, sure.
Because it's like artistically interesting and challenging. It was too fucking long. I mean, we all agreed on that at the top. And what Shudder seems to be doing, and Casey or Joe, somebody said this at the top. Like they're like crawling around the festival circuit and getting some of these things that, whether they're crowd pleasers or whether they're just like winning award, whatever it is, this movie had like good buzz at festivals, which to me makes me question like every film festival because I'm like,
oh, listen,
what the fuck?
critics who go to film festivals don't want to hear this, but it is much easier to enjoy something, almost any movie, when you see it in an atmosphere filled with like-minded critics that are just there to check out new cool horror, and anybody who would argue that with me is wrong.
No, well, I think that was the point that I made all the way back on our Jack Brooks Monster Slayer episode.
Yeah, dude,
because
that movie is infinitely more watchable with a room full of horror fans.
yeah. No, and like this movie objectively is just like not well done. It has fun parts to it, and like there's some interesting stuff going on in it, but like the whole, like if you were to evaluate it, I find it hard to believe anyone saw this and was like, great movie. But to put it on Shudder, where you're paying $5 a month, and they're gonna have one of these a month, like fuck, I'll pay $5 to watch one Ranger every month.
It's really affordable, but also like presumably your Shudder audience is a little different from the Netflix one in that they're very, very engaged in one genre. Your typical genre fan is much more interested in checking out everything, including rough around the edges indie stuff, right? Like I think I definitely agree. It's like a win-win for everybody, including like filmmakers trying to get their indie stuff out there to the audience that really wants to see it.
Yeah, I don't have super high hopes for what, you know, the folks involved here are going to do next, but who the hell knows, you know?
Things happen.
They can improve.
I mean, the other thing is like Shudder, I don't know how much money they're actually pulling in every month, but like they're not going to get the quality that like something like a Netflix can go out and afford. So like,
I mean, Shudder's an interesting thing in that it's basically a joint venture between a couple of big companies. And
Well,
so, like,
AMC owns it.
Right.
Yeah.
So like if in any way, I don't know, it's interesting. You're I don't know, John, you're a business guy. Like it's not necessarily the money you're taking in, it's the service you're providing by giving a distribution hub for this content, basically.
I don't think I've ever talked. I did meet the guy who runs Shudder. He's a super nice dude and like super into horror.
John, you want to pick up that name you just dropped?
No, I didn't give his name because it's escaping me right now. But I got to meet him, and he was like, you know, but he no, and like they care a lot. Like he's not faking it, and so what they're doing is because if you go on there now, they have a great back catalog, and there's tons.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Like that's what I think people appreciate that they're putting out. Like that's why.
Yeah.
And I get like why they would put this out, but I think that's what I was talking about over email. It's like, I don't give a shit about the Ranger. Like, give me fucking every Return of the Living Dead, and I'm perfectly happy with Shudder.
Yeah. Well, and there's like a Giallo collection right now that you know, and so but you can do both, right? And whatever. I'm not like angry that I watched this movie, although
no, I get it. Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah,
I mean,
no, I guess, and you're 100% right. Like, you can do both. I think if they started to veer towards the Netflix model where they're focusing more on like their original content versus like the stuff I'm actually going to Shudder for, then I would have a problem. But right now, like, yeah, I don't give a shit if you throw out the Ranger once a month.
To your point, they're not going to pay like the numbers that Netflix is paying for some of these movies. I mean, Bird Box or whatever. Like Bird Box is like the exception that proves the rule. Like whatever they paid $20 million to get that made. That's a huge number. But
Yeah.
it was like a cultural moment that
Yeah.
you can't get that any other place. I don't know. I mean, it's the same. You go back and talk. We did a show on what the hell was the sci-fi movie, the J.J. Abrams Cloverfield Paradox?
Yeah.
That movie was hot garbage, but you know,
I think I kind of like.
I didn't.
No,
I was
we
saying,
did
I
not
didn't think
it
it
was
was that bad.
okay.
I think it made my top 10.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I like what that movie brings to the Cloverfield mythos more than I do the actual movie. Like I like the idea of
I can
that
see
it
that.
introduced of how this whole thing started, but the actual movie is like, yeah, it's a
Oh,
little
I
rough.
mean, look, the effects in it were good. I actually think, but the movie itself was a fucking
Yeah, no,
mess.
I've got it right here because I keep all of Eric and my top 10 list. 2018, number 8, Cloverfield Paradox.
Oh, Joe. All right. Well, very good.
There you go. Super Bowl.
Yeah. I don't know.
All right.
You're not going to see Shudder do the Cloverfield Paradox is, I guess, what I was getting at.
Wow. They got one doc. They got two docs. You got a paradox.
Oh my god.
That was disgusting.
Yeah,
That's
That,
something.
see,
Get
the
him
only
right.
thing I have with the only problem I have with your jokes like that is that when you have to set yourself up more than once, I feel
Wow.
like that takes away from the delivery.
To be fair, Cece, that one's from the Jungle Cruise. Like, that's classic. That's
don't care.
classic.
It's still bad. It's still bad.
There's a bit about Cloverfield Paradox in the Joker's.
No, they're, all right, as we're pulling up to the exit, you'll see one doc. You'll see two docs. Folks, that's a paradox. It's great.
Cool.
It's great.
So it's not even your joke, which is worse.
No, but it's a classic. You gotta toss that out there.
Right, you butchered
Yeah.
someone else's bad joke.
Yeah. That's what you
All
do.
right, guys, would you recommend the Ranger, Cece?
I mean, if you don't have anything else.
John,
I'm going to say no.
Casey,
Sure, it's worth a weekend and a couple beers. It's on Shudder. Why not?
Joe?
No, I'm gonna say definitely no.
I'm also going to say no. Okay, that's going to do it. Let's take a quick break and do some fan mail.
Now we'd like to show you some scenes from Charles Kaufman's Mother's Day. We'd like to show you the scene with the machete, but we can't. We'd love to show you the scene with the choker, the axe, the electric knife, but we can't because Mother's Day is too intense for television. The only way you'll ever see what happens is to see Mother's Day at a theater near you. Mother's Day contains scenes of violence which may be considered shocking. Under 17, not admitted without parent.
Hi, I'm Ed Sanchez, co-writer and co-director of the Blair Witch Project, among other things, and you're listening to Bloody Good Horror.
Send your emails to info@bloodygoodhorror.com or hit us up on Twitter at BGHorror with the hashtag AskBGH. And don't forget to pick up back episodes of the show at podcast.bloodygoodhorror.com.
We're back.
Oh, what the fuck was that, Eric?
Sorry. info@bloodygoodhorror.com. It's the email address. Joe, sometimes we get long, eloquent emails that are really interesting.
I feel like I'm gonna throw up. Like, I need consistency in my life, Eric. Like,
This is not one of those times. Joseph says, I wanted to order the Friday the 13th Jason Voorhees hoodie. What website to go to and the price? I'm going to recommend this gentleman go to tpublic.com and search Bloody Good Horror. Find yourself Friday the 13th hoodie and tell him we sent you. Go to our store. Go to our store, right?
site and then click on T-shirts because that way we get the referral.
There you go. Thank you.
That seems like that's a lot. That's a lot to ask.
Of this
Well-
particular person.
He's emailing the wrong site, asking questions. So
Right. It's true. And that's gonna do it for emails. info@bloodygoodhorror.com. Joey. It's on Twitter.
Wow.
I love that so much.
I don't know. Seems like a nice guy. He just has questions, you know?
Hey, I appreciate him being direct and to the point.
Yeah, there's no punctuation whatsoever.
Well, it's super important. He wanted to get the point across. He needs you to answer it. What
only-
else do you want?
if only-
You don't want to read the super long, verbose emails.
If only there was some type of like searching website you could go to just search for Friday the 13th hoodie and see what came up.
My face.
No,
hurts.
no.
John,
This is better.
John, I think you used to work there, right? Bing or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bing.com.
Yeah.
Bang.
Speaking of hoodies, I think we talked about this over email, but I did finally take Eric's advice of the what is it? The fitted hoodie
You got
on
it. You got
TeePublic.
it on right now.
I love it. It's
Joe,
game changer. I will never buy another regular hoodie.
Doesn't it feel like you're being nuzzled by just the most incredible garment ever?
I usually will like wear a zip-up hoodie to work like maybe once a week, like every other week. Like I've worn this every day since I bought it. It's
Yep.
a delight.
It's amazing. So did you got one with like
Has your manager had to call you into their office?
No,
yet?
you got one with
it's-
like from TeePublic, right, with a print on it?
yeah.
So
yeah.
this is if you go to TeePublic in the Bloody Good Horror store, I guess, or go to Bloody Good Horror, click on T-shirts and get to TeePublic. Anything you want to order the lightweight, I prefer zipped hoodie,
Yeah.
and anything, and it literally is the most comfortable thing you've ever
Yeah.
worn in your entire life. It fits great. It's perfect. I liked
Yeah.
it so much. I wanted a blank one. I got in touch with TeePublic. They don't sell them, but they gave me the product number, which I then went and bought from like a wholesaler.
That is the most dad thing I've ever heard.
It's incredible. Why is that a dad
It's
thing?
great.
Listen, a dad could not figure out how to do that on the internet. I'm sorry.
No, I'm with CC. This is a dad thing.
I mean, I'm impressed. I'm just like, that's just such a above and beyond thing.
I think it's more nerdy than dad. But
Yeah.
I mean, I get.
Listen,
Nerd,
No, it's
dad.
great.
They're synonymous.
At checkout, you're gonna be like, I feel like I'm paying a little too much for a hoodie, but
not.
then like just push submit and pay, and
So
then
I
you're gonna
have
get like, no, I didn't pay too much.
I have a black one like you, Joe, and they started calling me the Unabomber at work because all winter long I would just like keep my hood up because it was so cold.
Well, they also might, I don't know, just have spoken to you for 5 minutes, and that might have been why they were calling you the Unabomber.
Unabomber is a upstate New York hometown hero.
Yeah, it's
Well,
true.
Yeah.
New York.
That's true.
Wow.
Very true.
Oh boy. All right. Do you guys want to talk about some tweets?
Where
Sure,
are
man.
they? Where are they now?
I don't want to upset anyone, but we don't have any BGH classics this
Yeah.
week.
Sorry.
We've done them. We've spanned the gamut. We've all the classics have been
Yeah.
said.
Classics.
Plus, we stopped making them like 100 episodes ago. So.
I was gonna say we certainly have not said anything interesting or witty.
Yeah.
For real. So yeah, but we do have some Ask BGH. So Ask BGH, hashtag Ask BGH, for all of your life queries, just things you're curious about. I don't know, really anything you want to send our way. The first one comes to us from Jason's Beard.
Mm.
That's at Beard81Dad. He says, "What is it about bouncing houses that turns everyone into an a-hole, especially parents?"
I
I-
mean, it's a real Lord of the Flies kind of situation because it can go bad real quick.
So I love bounce houses.
Yeah.
And
And you're an asshole.
oh, hold on. Like what I am confused about by this question, and by the way, just to be clear, bouncing houses, I was a little confused.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
I prefer bouncy castle.
Bouncy
It's a
house.
bouncy house. Like
This is
that's
what
their-
this is what I think you
like-
might be talking about, and what I think happens is like in the ones that are for kids, like you can't go in it, right? So all of your kids are in this dangerous thing, like knocking into each other, and you get like one husky kid in there who can't control his own body weight, and like you could get like I have tiny children.
But he does say especially parents, and it's unclear. Like, are parents over policing?
So what
Are
I
they
yeah,
under-
so what I
I've
think is
been a
he-
part of these scenarios. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but
No,
what
no,
happens
please do.
is you rent this thing, and I've been a part of multiple occasions where this has happened. You rent this thing, you get it for the evening. So you have the party, the kids are out there, they're having fun. The kids go to sleep, the parents are unwinding, all the parents are still there, you're drinking, you're like, I've got like a bottle of rosé in me, I'm going to that fucking bouncy house. All the parents get in there, decide they're going to start fist fighting inside the goddamn thing.
What?
And like just fucking bedlam that's loose.
Joe, multiple experiences?
At least 3 occasions this has happened.
What?
I mean, listen,
Stop it. Stop it.
Considering his handle is like Beard Dad or whatever, I'm gonna guess what he's talking about is just this thing where like you have two kinds of parents in these scenarios. Ones that let their kids get away with way too much, and ones that are up in everyone's grill trying to like police other people's kids, and that's a really bad like recipe right there.
See, I do fancy,
especially if it's a public thing where you don't know each other.
Yeah. So I've had a couple. I certainly have not had Joe level experiences. I've had a couple experiences where I send my kids into these things. My son, who's 5, he can handle himself, so I don't fucking worry. And guess what? If he fucking comes to me crying, I'm gonna be like, "Look, man, like you're gonna be okay."
Suck it
I
up.
will say, my 3-year-old daughter, she's tiny. She's like a little tiny like person, even for a 3-year-old. And so I do get like probably a little like, ugh. And
these things aren't safe by any means.
Cool. And I basically have to like, it's like I am like fighting with myself to not like interject all the time. Just be like, you stay away from her. You know, it's not a like boy girl thing. It's like she's just so freaking little that like I'm just like she's gonna get killed. So
I will say we like 2 Amazon Prime days ago, Leslie got like this amazing deal on like a small bouncy house. So we actually own one. We have it in our shed. And we busted it out for Mia's last birthday party. And I shit you not, within 5 minutes, one kid like busted his lip open and like had to go to the hospital.
Yeah, dude, that's
like,
a lawsuit waiting to happen. Also, like there was that story where those kids like they didn't properly secure.
Oh, and it flew away.
The wind
Oh
picked
my
up, and that
God.
kid flew like a town away.
Yeah. Well, that's on them. I mean, it comes with stakes. You put the fucking thing on the ground. Don't be assholes.
I think Jason's beard got a lot of mileage out of this question.
Yeah.
Good question. We love the parenting questions.
These are the
here, as
these
you
are the
can
ones we're
probably
encouraging. Our life questions. That's what it's
tell.
our wheelhouse.
And look, people act like a-holes around all kinds of nonsense. So it's not just bouncing houses, as you say. Jenna at Zombie Wasabi says, "What is one movie you could watch over and over again and not get sick of, horror or non-horror?"
Three Amigos, hands down.
Friday the 13th Part 6.
I watch Scream a lot.
Yeah, Scream's one I could watch a million times. Yeah, and
I would probably go Wayne's World.
Yeah, I watch that a lot.
That's a good one. Have you ever been to King's Dominion down in Virginia, John? They have a Wayne's World roller coaster.
I've driven by it many times, but
I assume it's still there.
When I was a teenager and I used to watch a lot of TV, I've probably seen the Comedy Central version of PCU about 400 times, and I could watch it again. Right? It's been years, but I used to watch it.
Oh yeah, I mean anything from like that, like PCU, Friday.
Yeah, Friday.
Any like Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison. Like I could watch those 100 times.
It's funny. I wonder if that. I mean, I guess that phenomenon. If you don't watch TV literally at all, and you just stream now, like you're probably not going to do that. It was more out of like convenience, and it was there, and it's like, oh well, I'm hungover on a Saturday, and I'm just laying here.
Well, isn't that what people are doing with like The Office on, you know?
Yeah, I think, but
no, it's still Eric.
But I think you're probably more doing that with TV shows now like that than you are. I don't know.
Yeah.
Than you are movies.
Yeah. Fight Club. I could watch Fight Club over and over again.
Oh, there you go.
Meet Joe Black. Very good. He loves peanut butter, John. He just discovered peanut butter.
Now you're going down the weird tangent. All right, next one. Lori Hovermail at Nylon Avenger. I don't really have a question, but I did score tickets to see Joe Bob at our local Alamo Draft House in October. Bragger.
That's great.
She says, super stoked. What was the highlight of your week?
Dude, what?
I assume it was Joe and the coffee machine that you posted about on Slack.
That's a pretty good coffee machine. Also, I fucking suburbaned the shit out of my garden this weekend, and I am extremely proud of the way that
you were
fucking
posting a lot about weeding. did you get your weeding situation under control?
No, I don't know what's going on. Like we have all of a sudden this year a lot of like grass growing in our garden. I have no idea why. Like it's becoming a thing.
You got to get that DDT. I hear that really works wonders.
Well, I don't want to put that on like the tomatoes that we're growing, so it's tough.
Ah. Yeah, I don't know. Anybody else have a week highlight for the week they want to share?
I'm going to Joshua Tree tomorrow.
Are you going to listen to the U2 album Joshua Tree while you're there?
No, definitely not. I am going to the Stoned and Dusted Festival.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, Kyle went to that last year, right?
Yes, and so Kyle is going again this year.
And you're going, though. You didn't go last year.
No, I didn't go last year.
Jesus Christ, Joe. Settle down.
I think the highlight that you're pointing out is that you're spending the weekend with Kyle.
Yes, longer. I'm spending a long weekend with Kyle. I'm sure you're so jealous.
I mean, you know, I don't know what he's doing next year, but that is something I would enjoy going to. I mean, just
dude, you need to tell him because I would like to just go hiking by myself, and you two could go to Stoned and Dusted.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we could go. I don't know who's playing there this year, but I'm sure.
I mean, I'm going to see Black Mountain, and yeah, there's a bunch of good people playing.
All right, Joe.
That's why I'm actually going.
Joe, put it back in your pants.
Yeah, I'm looking at their website. They literally do not list who is playing there.
They should. Hold on. I'll send it to you.
All right. Well, there you go. Joshua Tree. I think that takes the cake over Joe's weeding situation.
I don't know. Like, did you see the pictures of the garden that I put together?
It's a great garden, Joe. Next one, Monica. Very happy to hear from Monica. At Mi Corazon Mi Amor.
Monica's back.
What is the most random normal thing that inexplicably gives you the creeps? For me, it's hearing the crows that like to hop and walk around on my roof while I'm inside the house.
I mean, that's pretty unsettling.
Yeah. That's not inexplicable. They are fucking creepy. So,
I don't know. That's a good question.
I don't know. There's a lot of like random shit in New York that if you think about it is like kind of creepy, but it's you write it off as just like, yeah, I live in a big city and I don't know, I'm just gonna tolerate this fucking wacky nonsense going on right now.
Like chuds.
Chuds.
Chuds, a lot of chuds.
Chuds really, they'll get to you.
Yeah. Oh, dude, there's no escaping a chud. Once you got chuds, you can't. They're never gonna leave.
No, you can't. They're pretty much just squatters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone else?
I don't know. Like I feel like I would need time to think about this.
It's true. The crows is a good one. I would just say in general, crows they're just fucking creepy. Like they're very, aren't they like really smart too? I don't know. They're unsettling.
I mean, the group of them is called a murder, right? Like that had to have happened for some reason.
I learned that from counting crows. So.
An unnatural fear of the counting crows.
Last one.
I'm okay with it.
Diana at Diana K. Am I the only one who thought that was Mark Paul Gosselaar? Casey.
Nope.
Shut
You're watching the live feed though, because she posted that like 35 minutes ago. I feel like we're trolled here.
She even shared a side by side. I don't know, Casey, is this the one that you grabbed or?
No, I made my own.
Can I see?
Oh, there you go.
Can you link me here? I want to see it.
Stand by. I can. It's going to take me a second.
Does not look like him. I would say he's more putty than
putty.
Mark
Dude, he's fucking Rob Riggle.
He's definitely a knockoff Rob Riggle. No, he does look like the picture that Casey sent through and this picture. They're obviously similar pictures, but
they got the same crooked eye.
What?
No, dude,
why are you hating on Mark Paul Gosselaar?
Left eye. Look at their left eyes.
Mark Paul Gosselaar is so much more handsome than this guy, Casey.
Seriously, like.
Now I'm starting to feel bad for the Ranger guys. Take it easy.
Well, I mean, he's not bad. I'm just saying he's not Mark Paul Gosselaar.
We can't all be Zach
I
Morris.
would say it's the nose is the most different.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the face and everything else.
And the hair.
The eyes too. They
have the same color hair.
This guy's got like a butt chin.
They're kind of like both white people, so
yeah.
This is like a Eric. I'm surprised
he
Eric
kind of looks
actually
like Schnars.
hasn't really weighed here. So
It's like a Danny DeVito, Arnold Schwarzenegger type twins scenario. Like if that's what you're going for, then yeah, like the Ranger is like the shit version of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Okay.
So
Well, Diana, there you go. It was apparently Casey and you are on the same wavelength.
listen, I'd
Yep.
put more stock in this if she didn't post it during the show. I don't trust.
Yeah,
I don't trust her now.
we're being trolled.
Are you saying that Diana is Casey? It's his alter ego on Twitter? Or?
It's possible. I've seen no evidence to the contrary, so
I've never seen them together.
that's also true. Yeah, that's a good point. I hadn't
Fair
thought
enough.
of that. info@bloodygoodhorror.com is the email address. John, also, if you join us on Patreon, you get a couple cool things. You get access to our Slack community where we discuss life issues, like would you be comfortable flushing cereal down a toilet, perhaps?
I can't. You know what's funny is Jamie and Emroot, her husband, who's named Matt. We had like a whole side conversation today when this came up. Like, I can't get back into this, but like, here's why all these people are wrong, and like, I refuse to discuss it any further. But you guys are wrong.
I blame Slack for an outbreak of Pokemon Go playing all of a sudden from the BGH crew.
God, a lot of Pokemon Go talk. Yeah,
I deleted this thing like a year ago or more, and then like, so I don't know. Evan was talking about it, and they added some new stuff. So like, literally all of a sudden we're just all playing it again.
Yeah. We did add a comic book channel after our little brouhaha over comics.
Oh yeah, that's right. Eric and I, you sent us comics that we're supposed to be reading.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not entirely sure where I put them.
Well, you better find them. Patron Matt did help select those, so those are hand chosen.
It's true.
I'm gonna knock at least one of those out this weekend, so I will be able to report back on the next show.
Yeah, I mean it's a comic book, right? So you just go like that, and then you're done.
Yeah, it's you know, it's like a book, but for like kids. So.
Oh my god.
Oh, Schnars.
Oh, you guys. All right, it's been fun.
Also, don't forget to check out Tweet with BGH this Sunday.
What are we doing this weekend? What's the next movie?
No idea.
Well,
It's Memorial Day weekend, so I vote week off.
Yeah, we might be taking the week off. There is a new release, Brightburn. We're probably going to be catching that on video later this year.
Yeah, that's my vote. Okay.
There you go. All right, guys. That's going to do it for The Ranger. Hope you enjoyed the show. We'll talk to you soon.
See yous.
Bye.
Oh, goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.